Funky Derivative Jill.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 297 of King Dolphin TV. Only three to go. Three to go before the big 300 episode. And I am Raymond. I am author of the Dolphin Wars trilogy and ruler of the greatest pod in YouTube. I'd like to welcome you all to another Wednesday episode, and we will be doing my patented Fantastic Four reviews. And today I have a special guest, Anti-Derivative Jill. How you doing, Jill?
I'm doing fantastic. I was surprised you asked me on for a Fantastic Four show since I've only ever read the first issue and I'm not really all that much into comics.
Well, the reason I asked is because these two, I really got into science. I know a lot of the Fantastic Four previously have gotten into science, but I really got intrigued by this one here and wanted to talk to someone who is knowledgeable in science and math, etc., and get your thoughts on about it.
I'm so glad you did, because I actually did find these two issues entertaining. I hear a lot of people say new comics aren't so good, but these seem to be an exception.
Yeah. What we're talking about is the latest iteration of the Fantastic Four, written by, I think, Ryan North. And I'll go a little quick into background once we get started into it. But I find these really, really good because it brings out more of the family dynamic with the Fantastic Four, with the extended family of the Fantastic Four, because that's what they were from the get-go. They were a family. You have the scientist, his best friend, his girlfriend, later wife, and her brother. They're a family. To be trite, Marvel's first family. So I think that's what I've always liked about it on my various readings, is that they are very much a family dynamic, and now an extended family. And again, I'll go into background.
Sure, and since I've only ever read the first issue, it was a bit of a surprise to see that also Ben Grimm is married too.
Yeah, about time. Yeah, about time he finally married his long love, Alicia Masters, and now they have 2 kids. So, but yeah, but before we get started doing that, let us welcome everybody who is here so far. Hopefully, there'll be more people coming over here. We have right now in the chat, we have Tim, FKHC 2005. How are you doing, Tim? And let's see, I think that's it for the chat visitors. And then
Wait, you can't see all the other chats? There are way more chats than that. We've got Legatus Legionai, who of course is first.
Well, but he's one of the lifeguards. See, I don't call them wrenches. I don't call them wrenches. They are lifeguards because they keep things.
Oh, life. Okay.
They keep things.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Oh, here we go. Are you serving it, Tim? Enjoy a nice slice of pizza, but hopefully, I'm sure Jill has probably checked last week's Just Cousin. has heard about Pizza Butt.
I can't say that I know precisely what's going on with that, actually.
Yeah,
but,
it's probably
I kind of missed it.
It's probably better off for it just because.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll leave it there.
Yeah. So, okay. So for the lifeguards, right now we have our producer Sandra on. Love you, honey. And of course, Trike harassing her. We have John Rendell, Feds Forever, and of course we've got Snorta Poopas here. So that's what we've got right now. I'm sure others will be coming on. So let's see. And before we get started, if you like what we're doing here, if you like these reviews, like the interviews, I've gotten even more. I've gotten some interviews planned, and coming up for October. So that and we're gonna have a lot of other good stuff coming on. Plus, if you are so inclined, let me get this out here. Let's get this. I wish Stream Elements would allow it to pin things, pull things after or prior to getting going on live, because this is a pain to have to interrupt myself. So if you
that's why I always have to have the YouTube chat open also.
Yeah, that's what I do, but it's still. So yeah, if you're so inclined, please, the tip link is up on top of the chat, and if you want to help out the channel, keep the lights on, and please put some ducats in the bucket. Right now, I'm waiting on watch hours. So who knows?
How many left?
500.
500? Hey, that's not a lot. That's not a lot. You get there soon.
I know. It's just it's just there's a log jam, same log jam that was with the subscribers.
Also, with so many new visitors to your channel, you'll get it in no time.
Yeah, exactly. Also, go to thedolphinwars.com. Check out the Dolphin Wars trilogy as well. All right, so let us get started. This is Fantastic Four, issue 23, The Legacy. Marvel has the habit of they'll put their new editions up, but then they'll put the Legacy. So it's issue number 23 and Legacy number 716. And the cover there, you see the Fantastic Four flying around in a craft around a molecule. So, okay. Now, a little bit of background here is there was a crisis that attacked New York City, and the Reed had to do an emergency transport of the Baxter building, including their children, Ben and Alicia's children, and the inhabitants of the Baxter building for a year. And during that year, they couldn't well, obviously they couldn't stay at the Baxter Building, so the four of them went their separate ways. Ben and Alicia one way, Reed and Sue another, and Johnny Storm another. Well, fine. Long story short, they got back together, and they are currently living on Ben's and Aunt Petunia's farm, and they are living the life of farmers. Now, the Baxter Building did come back along with their children, but they are still staying in the farm. So they use the Baxter Building as a headquarters. They're able to transport, by the way, and still living at the farm. So we start out in this one, and I'm Johnny Storm. This is going to be from Johnny Storm's viewpoint. He's going to narrate this. So there was another crisis. Dr. Doom saved them because he was a sorcerer supreme, and he's hiding behind the land of Latveria. Meanwhile, Reed is trying to figure a way to guess Doom's next move, but the rest of the team decide to visit New York. So in New York, you've got Sue. You've got Sue, the Invisible Woman. You've got Johnny Storm, the Human Torch. I hate that porn stash. Oh, I hate that mustache. And he's being as cocky as ever. And Sue is trying to talk sense into him. And then they're also joined with Joe and Nikki. These are Ben and Alicia's adopted children. Nikki is a Skrull warrior, and Joe is a Kree warrior. They were originally fighting each other in another mini series, but then they made peace and were adopted by Ben and Alicia. So,
Oh, okay, that helps.
Huh?
That helps. Thanks.
Yeah.
I had no clue.
Yeah. Now, Alicia Masters is, for those who don't know, is a blind sculptress who Ben met and fell in love with way back at the beginning of the Fantastic Four, and they've been seeing each other on and off, and then finally, in the 2020s, they tie the knot. So that's the extended family of the Fantastic Four. So they are.
Is she the little green one? Is she anything like Gamora or something?
No, she's a Skrull. They're shapeshifters.
Oh, okay.
They're shapeshifters.
Gotcha.
And Kree, the blue kid is a Kree warrior, and just basically, just pretty much warriors that I guess they train at birth. So,
what time period are these comics set in?
It is very strange. This is actually modern times, but comics tend to have an expanding time frame. But it's timey-wimey stuff. But right, it is set in the current age, current time.
The only context I have is that the FF helped, the Fantastic Four helped get rid of some vampires who were blocking the sun, and they made a deal with Dr. Doom, and Dr. Strange gave him some powers somehow, and now Dr. Doom won't give him back his powers.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Is that what's happening?
And now vampires can, as you can see here, vampires can live in the light as opposed to having to come out only at night. So there, Sue and Johnny are breaking up a human vampire fight, and then all of a sudden Johnny gets hit by something. Sue's thinking that it was the punks, but it wasn't. He got hit by something like a ton of bricks, and then the others start getting hit. Like,
Besides, what kind of punk wears a shirt that just says punk? That's hilarious.
yeah, I don't know. Well, look at Johnny's. He says his says bad.
If he turns around, it says very bad.
So Sue separates everybody because she doesn't know what's going on, and because Joe got hit too, and they're over there saying no, it's not them, and then they go behind them and they see all these little all these impacts of something. Hitting buildings, hitting people. So then so then Johnny grabs the kids, they escape into a building.
I like the little fire barrier he uses against whatever
Yeah.
smacking everything.
Yeah, it says really bad. So then the news is saying 40% of the planet is getting hit, telling them to seek shelter. Then in Arizona, Reed completed a device that's supposed to detect magic, but also thinking that it's probably a piece of junk. But they're waiting to get any magical signals from Latveria, because Doom is now supposedly the super magician, and Reed wants to find out what's going on. He says, magic may be magic, but it's still gotta obey. I love how they're starting to make Reed talk like normal instead of hot, super sciencey. He's using like slang, like gotta. So he tries to activate the device. The device breaks up. Reed says he didn't turn it on. Next thing you know, he gets smacked. And I love how that drawing of him getting his rubber head getting smacked.
Dr. Doom is calling himself the Sorcerer Supreme, and so this device is supposed to detect that magic, but he doesn't even get to try it. Yeah. Also, did you look at the chip bag? It says it's called air because chip bags are
mostly air. Yeah.
Full of air.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a real big dad joke kind of chip company.
Yeah. So they go.
Wait, before we go on, there was one thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? I have it. Magic may be magic, but it's still got to obey the inverse square law. And so that's what is that? So it says the intensity equals the inverse square of the distance from the source. So radiation exposure gets smaller the farther away it is. So if the source is farther away, it'll get less exposure.
Okay. And that's why I have you here. So it's very possible that they may not even see it because of the distance, because Latveria is in Eastern Europe and they're in Arizona. So it's a lot of speculation there. But the point is moot because it's broken in pieces. So they go to the Baxter building and the entire family is there. And so then they start going down to their hangar. So they're going down to their hangar to pick up a particular, and the people that are there. Okay, you've met Sue, Johnny. Hold on one second.
Oh, sure, not a problem. And I did screenshot a few of these panels that I thought were interesting. The other one, when they're in the Baxter building on the elevator, Reed says, to confirm, we need data. Johnny, you've kept all our old vehicles in working order, and so that's so it coming up on the next one. It's going to show all the vehicles, I guess, that they use on their adventures, and it's pretty neat assortment of items.
Okay, I am back, and
Welcome back.
Yeah, and hello, DJ Playnice.
Hi, DJ
Welcome.
Playnice.
So, okay, from left to right. Okay, there's Reed. You've met the two Ben's kids. There's Sue. Of course, you know Clobber, Ben. In front of him is Alicia, his wife. To the right of Reed are Reed's son Franklin, his daughter Valeria, and Johnny. So they're going downstairs and they go to the hangar. Reed is thinking they're going to have to shrink. And yes, there's their hangar. That's pretty much all the vehicles they've had throughout their adventures. They got the rocket. They have a flying saucer. I don't know who had that. I don't know what that brown vehicle is there. A hot rod from Johnny. If you see a dune buggy, that was a vehicle that Johnny made for Spider-Man, because you could see the Spidey tires, and their pogo jet. And right in front is their reducing craft. It can shrink down to very small levels. So now Reed's getting ready to go. So Reed does an explanation, but Johnny decides he's going, since this is Johnny's point of view, he's going to explain it in an interesting fashion. So it's saying that there was a particle that hit the Earth at 99.999.
Basically, as close to the speed of light as you can get. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So they named it I'm sure these are not the actual names of the particle. So they just named it. So Johnny says that the first thing is they've never detected a particle as fast or high energy as it was either before or since. So this was a one of a kind particle.
Yeah, so the particle is going so fast, and if you're going to relativistic speeds, you're going to invoke time dilation there, and so you don't think it's really called the OMG particle? You think he's just joking?
It could be, and scientists called it a cosmic ray, but it doesn't give superpowers. Okay, so Reed didn't think that was weird, but cosmic rays gives powers. And the third part is they don't know where it came from. So Reed is thinking that all these new particles are coming on Earth, and Reed thinks that rather than decay, once they hit in secondary particles and radiation, which is what they do, they're staying intact. So
Yes,
Reed
that's true. So yeah, when cosmic rays hit the Earth, they create those secondary particles he's talking about, pions and muons, and the pions decay quickly, and the muons don't last very long in their current form, because of course nothing can be matter cannot be created or destroyed. It just turns to something else, so it turns into radiation, like it says there. So it actually is portraying that perfectly, and so that's not happening here. Instead, it's
staying intact.
It's a solid object.
Yeah. So the team goes into the craft and they start shrinking, leaving the kids with Alicia, and Ben says, Alicia, Nikki, Joe, Val, Franklin will need you to monitor the reductor craft and bring us back if, call it when something goes wrong. So Ben's already expecting shenanigans. So they go tiny. And they start. This impression of the microverse is amazing. It looks like something Kirby would have done. So they go past the molecules, then past the atoms, and down to where they should see the subatomic particles, and then they see a black sphere. And Reed is over there going, it's solid. And okay, it's probably better off that I read this. It says it's a proton, a quantized wave function that just interacts and impacts as if it were a sphere. We should be looking at 3 valence quarks held together by strong interactions. So there should be the quarks, whatever they look like, together.
Yes. The quarks are, of course, are the subcomponents of the proton, and neutrons also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you've got various flavors of quark. I don't know why they call them flavors, but so they go to the sphere.
One thing that I thought was weird is that they use the word preonic, and preonic is more of an ancient kind of thought that quarks aren't even the smallest thing. There's another subcomponent, and so they had a thought of that. But ever since we did figure out, how to do tests and stuff, there's no evidence of those, so nobody thinks those are there anymore.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm not certain why they use that word, but then they're correct when they call this thing more of a proton, so that makes more sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they get to the proton and they see a door. Little weird. So and Reed is just totally mind blown that someone would turn a proton into a ship. Yeah. So they open up the door and there's an airlock. So they go in and they see, well, we don't see it. We're back to the big world, and Alicia is getting an emergency signal, and they beam the proton up. So there is a proton in their laboratory or their hangar. So the team comes out with a creature, a little octopus type of creature. Not something you expect down in down in the the microscopic world. So, and the creature died immediately. So what Sue did is set up a funnel to start bringing those particles to the Baxter building. So now they've got all these subatomic particles there, and they're conducting a rescue mission. So they go into 3 or 4 reducing craft, 2 by 2. So 3 crafts with 2 of them on, and Reed is still in the Proton trying to figure out a communication. They go and they find that the aliens that they find are already dead or dying, and so they're trying to figure out why. There's Prionic again. They say it can't be disease because of the size, and they've sterilized the hangar. So they're trying to figure out the mystery, and they found one, and he's trying to talk, and Reed is trying to get a translation to Universal.
He's trying to talk.
Yeah, he's trying to talk.
I'm sorry. No, I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the alien is trying to talk, and Reed's trying to get their translation gear up, and Johnny is getting it to keep talking, and next thing you know, the creature starts choking Johnny. And it's going to be continued at the next issue. So at this time, let us take a break. So, Jill, as I bring up the next one, let's see. What do you think of this? What do you think of the issue, and what do you think of the science that's coming out of it?
It was entertaining. I think that Johnny, he kind of speaks pretty juvenilely, and Reed is more of the adult. If that's what it's supposed to be, then all right, I'm okay with that. I don't really know, because I can't really judge the characters since I don't know them.
Yeah,
but no, the science was fun. I love thinking about do you know that about 10,000 muons pass through our bodies every minute?
Wow. Yeah.
And it's not a problem or anything. It's just
no.
So this kind of science fiction is fun when it makes me think of stuff like that.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Okay. In fact, I think I'm going to get a poll started here while we're doing that. Guys, if you want to comment while I'm setting this up, and we will
Sue Storm doesn't seem to have a limit on how powerful or how extending or reaching her force fields are. She can encompass the entire globe with a funnel and catch all of the cosmic rays.
Oh yeah. Oh, if you go back and do episode 200, I review a miniseries on the Invisible Woman, and oh my God, she is powerful. And she herself said it was the case of Sue Storm was a super spy at some point in time before. Well, she was a super spy as a part-time job besides the Fantastic Four. And
Oh, nice.
And she okay, there's the poll. Yeah. She has called herself a killing machine because she can do so many horrific things to people and things that she's I don't think there is an upper limit to her powers.
And I'm
And
fine with that. It's a fantasy comic book, so so she of course she can change her force field to work on the subatomic level. It doesn't exactly matter how. She just can do it.
yeah. Mhm. Yeah. And backstory, there are people worried about that her having that much power.
That makes
So
sense.
yeah. Hello, Phantom Outsider. How you doing, buddy?
Fez
Oh,
Forever asks, how far can you stretch Reed on a clear day? And I only read that because I want to know.
who's that? Where's that at? Oh, how far can you stretch Reed on a clear day? Oh boy, he does have a limit. And let me check what Wikipedia says. Mr. Fantastic. Check his powers. Okay.
Fez Forever also says, with much power comes massive electric bills.
Yeah. Let's see. It does not say in Wikipedia how much, how far he can go. Let's see. But he can.
There's a Marvel wiki that says he starts to experience pain at 1,500 feet, so that's probably where he'd limit himself.
Yeah. Phantom says he can go like 2 football fields from hands to feet. I think he's gone further than that. And he can, let's see. Hello, Legatus, Legion Eye. And of course, 1,500 feet. And he can he pretty much attain any shape he wants. I guess that's limited to his imagination, which is a big one. Okay.
Oh, I got it wrong. I was quoting from Mr. Fantastic, as Legion I said. I got it mixed up because I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine, Jill. You're fine. Hey, I don't know a lot of the science, so I'm glad you're here. We just got done with Legatus. We just got done talking about. I just went through Fantastic Four 23, and which was Johnny's telling about this part of the adventure. So where, just to catch up, they found a proton that hit a series of protons that was hitting the Earth, and they were able to retrieve one with an alien species inside. So this species created a spaceship and were we're wandering. So, and that's where we will go to the next.
Okay,
issue.
so my problem with that is whenever they've got these full-size aliens, so do they just have a ton of these giant balls of protons everywhere, or do they shrink them back down, or what are they doing with all these spaceships?
Looking from the last picture, it looks like they left the protons. Looks like they left the protons in microspace and just rescued the creatures.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to the next one. Kindle's giving me hello, Stark of Iron. How are you, sir?
Hello, Tony. How are you doing? Yeah,
Yes. How are you doing,
good
sir?
question.
Okay. Kindle's giving me some grief right now. So it's up. Go back to library.
So DJ Play Nice says so about 4 football fields, 480 yards.
Okay. Well, thank you, Tony. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. So
Yeah, you're about to pass me up as well, and so
whoa.
that's where I'm at too. I'm at 1.12.
Yeah, but I don't have the watch hours. That's the rub.
You'll get it. That's nothing.
Yeah. All right.
Well, especially if your friends just leave your stream on in the background while they go shopping or something.
That's what I tell people. Use it as background noise. Okay, where are you? Oh, come on. Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. I love these covers, by the way. They're by Alex Ross. Okay. All right. All right, here we go. I love these covers by Alex Roth. They are all the superheroes who have helped out the Fantastic Four since they've been around. You've got the Inhumans, you've got the Watcher, and etc. And of course the Four. Okay. So, all right. So this is issue 24, Legacy 717. And don't worry, for those who were used to me starting way back in the Kirby days, this is just a one-off. Because I just happen to love this adventure. Cloudy probably rest in peace. Rest in peace. But he really didn't like the new stuff. So but I like these. I like these issues. Okay, so
I think there's some value in these. I'm enjoying them. At least these couple ones.
yeah. All right, so we start off with Johnny being choked. And of course, Sue has got the creature covered by by a force field. Now, this is Reed narrating, which means it's going to be a lot of big words. But I'm going.
I enjoyed the second one more than the first one with the juvenile, like the middle schooler language. This was a lot more fun for me to hear a grown up talk.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to read verbatim the first one because I found it really interesting that he really loves the NTSB aircraft crashing investigations. With future lives and the safety of air travel itself on the line, the NTSB relies entirely on science and observation. They assume nothing and record only verifiable facts. If Flight X of Aircraft Y crashes on Flight Path Z, they don't report we found the wreckage of Flight X. They report wreckage was observed consistent with the Model Y aircraft impacting terrain beneath Flight Path Z. And I know Sandra's geeking out about this.
This is really fantastic because he's not just sharing this for no reason. It comes back later in terms of how he observes the world and how it affects his adventure that he has at the end.
Why? Because before they found actual evidence that this was Flight X, they can't rule out the possibility of a second unregistered flight in the same type of plane traveling in the same direction that may also have crashed entirely unnoticed. Assume nothing, trust only what you can verify. So, okay, you got the creature choking Johnny, and it's the only one they found alive. And it's saying needs to leave now. So the creature apologizes, but says, I have to leave. And she wasn't sure that they were friendly. And this creature's asking if they've got particle accelerators. Now, Reed is no dummy, obviously, but he decides to get a second opinion, and this is what I really found cool, and this was in another episode, because Alicia is blind. The entire family has learned to do Braille. So Sue can use force fields to type in Braille. And so she comes back and says, explore, but be careful. So she did that via her force fields in Braille to all of them. So he introduces himself and says that Earth has several particle accelerators. And in fact, he has one down under the Baxter Building, which spans much of New York State. Could you imagine what the government would do if they knew there was a particle accelerator outside of Fermi Lab?
Oh, he's just smashing some particles around. What's the problem? Yeah, what's the problem with that?
That's true. So they're saying a particle could be adjusted to send it into space. Alicia, the pragmatist, says, I want to know more. So the creature, the creature decides to explain while Reed is doing the adjustments. Now, of course, Reed is going to do stalling tactics until he finds out what's going on. The creature is named Zwixa. She left the world billions of years ago. Now, remember that the universe, as of right now, is about 13.5 billion years. Now, James Webb may disprove that, but currently. So you're talking, this is far, far in the past. So they came up, solved their problems, started looking up to the stars, and decide and see that the stars are far beyond the reach. And speed of light, can't beat that, right, Joe?
Yeah, pretty much. Unless you've got some kind of warp drive in this fantastic universe, Marvel universe, then definitely your limit is the speed of light. But achieving even that is insurmountable because you need to be as light, and so they figure a way around this by actually traveling as the photons in those spaceships that we saw in the first issue.
Yep.
And so they get this special particle that they find inside their sun that allows them to do that.
Yep. So they're able to shrink and turn a proton into a spaceship, and it launched at close to the speed of light. You saw the figures in the last episode, and they didn't care about
999.
and they didn't care about the length because time dilation. They're not going to age. Everything else.
They'll age a little bit, but nothing compared to the people that they left behind in relative to wherever they were.
Mhm.
So they still age a bit, but not as much.
Yeah.
By the time they stop.
Mm-hmm. So, and it's again, Reed explains it. The faster one goes, the slower time goes compared to everyone else. So Zwixa experienced the journey of billions of years in only a few seconds. So Johnny asks, and this is a surprisingly intuitive question for Johnny. If this is all space exploration, then what's the deal with all the dead and dying peeps hitting them? Aren't you supposed to age at those speeds? Zwixa said, well, you could pretty much, the protons give them the ability to travel. Unfortunately, they have no control. And time dilation causes problems with reaction. So in other words, they were just looking for a spot, and like a slingshot being fired by a kid. You hope it's going to go somewhere.
They're traveling, but they can't direct their course. They can kind of guess, but that's the best they can do.
Yeah. So what they did, they used it for rich sick people. Rich sick people.
People are going to die anyway.
Yeah, people who are going to die, and they have the resources to do it. Doesn't that remind you of an episode of The Next Generation? Where the three come
Next
from
Generation? Oh, the neutral zone? Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yes, and all of their illnesses are cured in the future, so they got exactly what they wanted.
Yeah. But they had to do it. They had to go into a deep sleep and get launched. So they decided that because Earth is in an interesting location, that's where they launched the protons. Something about Earth. What? That's always something about Earth.
Because even though relative to us, whoever they left behind, even though relative to us, that it seems like they're almost ageless. To them, in their spacecraft, they still age normally, and so I guess they just succumb to their illness.
Mm-hmm. And that's why you have all the dead bodies. And then Zwixa says she doesn't know why the ships are arriving all at once. That she's thinking there was an interstellar phenomenon that affected their trajectories. Now, of course, Alicia, being the pragmatist, is saying this is space cryonics. But rich people don't want to die, so they decide to do an expensive way to cheat death. And Zwixa says, yeah, and so, and is saying, voyaging across the depths of the cosmos and time itself, buoyed by the trust that when you arrive, the universe will have evolved enough to save you, even from death. It is a beautiful act of hope. And so Ben asks, why do you want to go now? She's not dying. And Zrixa says Earth is not advanced enough to save them. So she wants to head to the future. And she has figured out that Reed was stalling and attacks him. And evidently, she's able to hold off the whole team. As you can see, the force fields aren't doing anything. And she's moving fast enough where she could shrink herself or teleport herself to the accelerator. And she teleported the ship. And she tells them good luck. So Sue's...
Yeah, that's not a good sign, right?
No, it is not. So what Reed does is leaves Sue, Alicia, Val, and Franklin at the computers. Val wants to go. She says, we can help. And Reed says, look, stay. Because he's surmising they're sending Zrixa's world is sending information to their target location. Reed postulates that it's going to be now. So he wants 4 people who are able to translate the message. Sue says to send a message across the galaxy, they need to encode what they want to say using math and universal constants, just like we did as Arecibo. And Reed says you need the skills of scientists, which Val is, archaeologists, which Sue is, and artists, which is Alicia. So he put the right people at the right place to get this message, while the others go to try and stop her. They go down to the particle accelerator, and she's already finishing her adjustments. Reed is saying, no, stop it. And she's saying no. She's going to continue. And now they're starting to figure it out. They sent about 6.5 million bits of data. There's the precise number. Val figures that it's a semi-prime number and gives the calculation. So Franklin says add a new line every 23 bits. And so they're starting to figure out the translation of the message. And they're not making any headway against Zrixa.
Which is interesting because semi-prime numbers are useful in cryptography, rather.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what we usually think, is that when we find other aliens that they're going to understand math, and that's how we're going to be able to communicate with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Voyager has that information. I think they also have like math. Yeah. So Zrixa says she's not sick. She wanted to take the trip. And now they're figuring out elements and compounds, and Alicia's figuring out there's images, and Sue is putting it all together. Now the shapes are becoming symbolic, as in they're trying to build words, and they're trying to get into concepts. And then Sue is starting to,
like the panel where they're all trying to attack her, and he says, "Are you fireproof?" She's like, "And what? And you're not?" Yeah, that was amusing.
Yeah, and Ben is trying to. Yeah, I mean,
what if the Human Torch is not fireproof? That wouldn't make any sense.
He is, yeah, he is fireproof because
Yeah, he has to be. He has
he
to
pro-
be. But I thought the idea that he isn't is what
yeah,
amused me. But he, of
yeah.
course, he is.
That's kind of ignorant though of her because he projects a fiery aura, which means he's got to be able to protect himself from said fiery aura.
Yeah, I think the way why she's ignorant of it is that everybody on her planet is the same, so she just figures everybody's fireproof.
Yeah, true. So, and she's showing what a conceited witch she is. Why should I
She
die?
wants to live forever.
Yep, she wants to live forever. I'm a great woman. My death would be an incalculable loss. To who? I mean, if you're out by yourself, and
You're not contributing to anybody.
yeah, she wants to live forever without uh, without contributing. So Reed's receiving the message, and Zixa shrinks, and the accelerator starts. Johnny can't turn it off, and so Reed's only option is he's gonna grab a suit and go down and go after her. Ben doesn't.
They only
Ben
have one.
Yeah, they only got one, of course. Reed's got to be the one to go, of course. So they got the history, and they're finding out Rixa isn't telling the whole truth. The thing is they did come from the core, but taking the particles causes the sun to dim. Every time they take the particles, the sun gets darker. So, but it was profitable, so they continued. And of course, the rich decide to escape, and the sun gets down. Zwixa took a large amount of particles, so she could go as many trips as she wanted. And at that time, they said that the planet was beyond hope, and that they were all freezing because the sun was dying. So Reed shrinks, grabs onto a second particle, and starts heading to Zrix's ship. And he's wondering why Zrixa wanted to leave. And now they find out why. These people, the creatures hated Zrixa and what she did, and they're going to clean up the mess. Valeria figures out that they just built, that they sent the mathematical formula for nuclear fission. So they launched atomic bombs as revenge. Of course, we're talking, miniature atomic bombs. You have to wonder how much damage they would do.
Yeah, that's a good point. But all they have to do is destroy her.
Yeah. So they would have no effect on. I don't think they would have, depending on the amount, I don't think they'd have the effect of a regular nuclear weapon, even if the Fantastic Four was not there. So Reed.
It certainly would be a bad mosquito bite.
Yeah. So Reed can't talk to them anymore, and he's already reached relativistic speeds. But he sees her ship. And then he gets to the ship and enters it. and they get into a fight. He's trying to slow the particle down. She's pretty much saying it's too late. And Reed sees that they're already in space. And then she sees the weapons. He sees the weapons traveling in the opposite direction. And you notice none of them are going to collide with her. They're just heading in a straight direction so that the only place that's threatened is Earth. Like you said, a bunch of irritating mosquito bites.
And even if they were dangerous, he says his family can take care of them.
Exactly. And that's over here. Yeah, she's just mentioning the nukes, saying people don't agree with the freedoms her wealth earned her. And Reed says, we can take care of those. But now the fact that the accelerator wasn't aimed anywhere, they're heading into deep space at the speed of light. So he says
she's not going to be able to travel where she wants to go to achieve what she wants.
Mm-hmm. He says nothing will ever slow us down. We will never interact with another particle again until the universe is so old that even protons decay. There'll be nothing else left. So they.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. He's talking about the end of the universe kind of stuff.
Yep.
Where the universe has expanded so much that everything is starting to break apart, just like as it started to expand from a very small area out into the universe we have now into just its separate constituents all over.
Yep. And he says, and in all that time, you've changed nothing, affect nothing, never do anything to make the universe a better place. That's your legacy. We'll die last, and we will die the most alone. And then he starts seeing the stars. He's failing to form, stars dying, and then the proton disintegrate. So they are in space. Obviously, Zricksa's dying, as is Reed. And Reed, still being the scientist, he's still trying to draw data and can, even though his brain is dying.
And I think, like at the beginning, you should read that panel just like you read the beginning panel that ties in with this one really well.
Which is okay. Let me read the 3. It's not possible to experience a greater cold. I think, isn't that remarkable? This is what death feels like. I try to gather data, draw conclusions, even though my brain is starving for oxygen, which means I can trust neither that or my senses, which is why I now confess I've had to move away from NTSB standards, and I can't prove anything. I can't verify a single fact. That's the one you wanted me to read, right, Joe?
Yes, that's correct. That's the one I wanted you to read. It circles back to the very beginning of the comic, and I think it's really neat. It's good stuff.
Yep. And then he encounters something. He feels like it's home, it's warm, and then it starts explaining. You can see it there, but it's the beginning of the 9th cosmos. You are not to be here. There is a doom coming. You are needed there. And Reed couldn't trust his senses, but he says the entity says yes for your family. And since he couldn't trust his senses, it's little purpose, and he finds it no purpose in dwelling on it. But what he does say prior to being rescued, he asks Franklin. And then suddenly,
Who's Franklin?
his son. His son, let's back up on a little bit on Franklin. His son, being the son of two superpowered humans, is a mutant. And he is an extremely overpowered mutant. So I fully believe that was probably his son right there. But he can't prove
Oh, really?
it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he is. Franklin is very powerful. He's created universes. That's how powerful he is.
Oh.
So but Reed can't prove it because now he's back at the accelerator. And they
You can ask him.
Yeah. I don't think he'd know.
Kidding. I'm just kidding. No, of course he wouldn't, because he's not in that time period. He's not at the end of the universe yet.
Yeah, exactly. Sue saved the world with the funnel, and the nukes went to explode in the sun. And this next three pictures, I got shivers. They go to the earth, they go to the roof, and they're looking out the telescopes and at the area where the transmission came from. And it's been going for about billions of years, and from a dying star. And so you see a photo of a point of light in one photo. Excuse me a moment.
It takes a certain amount of time for the light from a star to get to us. But this planet it takes a certain amount of time for the light of a star to get to us, depending on how far away it is. And so this means that this particular solar system has been dying for so long, and it's caught up with us at this exact moment.
Yeah, and I got chills. I got chills when I saw that light wink away.
That a whole civilization can destroy itself through that kind of greed of wanting to extend their lives beyond the natural processes.
Yep. So let's go on. And there's a postscript. Days after
I didn't read this part. I missed it.
Yeah, it was easy to miss. I almost did. So 5 days after the encounter, they detected one more particle. Sue brought it to their lab, and Johnny and Reed go down. Only the two of them, and Johnny's mind is blown. He says they were dying and they knew it. So the very last thing they did, their very last act was to send doomsday nukes into space. And he's just so boggled by that a civilization not caring who it hurts, even if it takes 1 billion years for the solution. So Reed tells them about hate and love, and that it had competing ideas and philosophies. And then all this, and Reed says, perhaps in the midst of all that bleakness, there were still some who believed things could be better, who believed they still had options beyond revenge. and I am thrilled to discover my supposition is not without evidence. They find another creature, a baby creature. They find the last daughter of the ancient world, a sole survivor. And Johnny says the creature will not be alone. There'll be people who love her, adopt her, and Reed's last words of the adventure are, "We find hope."
Are they adopting this baby?
Probably.
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 Well, that's really sad. All of her family, all her entire civilization, everyone she's connected with are all gone.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Very sad. And through hubris, pure hubris. So that is the end of the issue 24. And the and oof, that was oh, hello, Shooter, the emu with a gun. How you doing?
Hello, Shooter.
It's been a while. Let's see. I know I have this, Shooter. Okay, so it's hi Dave, how you doing? Yeah, Sandra's. Yeah, let's catch up on the chat. I'm sure there's been a lot of...
it's a good comic. It's interesting science fiction thoughts and ideas that made me it kept my attention.
Yeah, it for someone who hadn't done it before, I think, who hadn't read comics before, I thought this would be really intriguing. For
Really, but it's even better talking to someone who actually knows what they're talking about and can tell me that Reed thinks that he was saved by his own son from the future. It's crazy.
I'm thinking that. Yeah. Okay.
I've missed that on my own. Yeah, rest in peace, Bobby. I think about him a lot.
Thanks, Tony. Okay. Protons. I wonder if there's a thing as a conton or an amateur ton, or how many protons in a wonton. There are 4 wontons in a bowl of soup. Oh, that's a lot of protons.
Yes, there are a lot of protons and 4 wontons.
Most comic books these days are not of the same quality of the yesteryears. In fact, most today are not worth it. I would normally tend to agree with you, Legatus, which is why this particular rendition of the Fantastic Four is just amazing. It does bring back some of the old Kirby.
I appreciate you reading some of the new stuff and finding good things, because there are good things out there.
Yeah. And Legatus says passion to put out good work is rare. These days, it's about the agenda and DEI rather than a good product.
See what happens when they don't do that. This comic did not do that whatsoever.
No, not at all.
No agenda. It was just a fun story, a fun science fiction adventure with aliens and particle physics.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, and even though particle physics gives me headaches, this was definitely enjoyable.
It's digestible for a layman. It was great.
Good. Glad you enjoyed it. And Sandra says, as you get closer to the speed of light, mass increases as well. Right, but they're a proton.
Yeah, but if you're already a proton, then you're already the light. You are the light.
Yes, you are the light. I had my eyes.
Hello, Dave. Yeah, go ahead.
I had my eyes dilated a while ago. I asked the nurse to put the drops in my watch for time dilation. Nothing happened. Oh, it's too early for the kiddie table. Okay. Let's see. That says also reminds me of the plot for Dark City. I don't think And gotta be a stinky spaceship with all those bodies. Well, it sounded like most of them died as they opened the compartment. Hello, Herc 130. He's driving, listening, can listen, can't talk. Okay.
Hello, Herc 130.
All Snortopoopas knows about cryptology is he likes many of the attributes of pi, P-I, apple, cherry, pumpkin.
What about pecan?
Ooh, pecan. Or cheesecake. No, they don't do those
Skip the
anymore.
pie and go for cake.
They don't do those
Yeah,
anymore.
that's pretty sad. How am I supposed to get my sea monkeys if I can't find them in the comic books these days?
Well, we'll start back with the old issues next time. Phantom Outsider says, Mini Nuke Bombs, is Mini Snort the villain here? Or is it Sniffles? Those two and their hijinks. Oh.
Wait, does Sniffles actually conspire with Mini Snort? I missed out on the lore.
Oh, yeah. He's the one behind the bones. Oh, no. Oops. So that's what it would have happened with those proton-sized nukes. Gather them all together.
Yeah. We underestimated them. They get together.
We did.
They get together and they combine together, and then.
Yeah. But she herself said it. She herself said they can't control it. All they could do is launch it at a straight line trajectory. So I still think it would be it'd be a bunch of hot softballs hitting people. Because they hit people pretty hard as like softballs. And if they explode, that'd be just maybe hot pieces of charcoal.
That's important to remember, is that they were still hurting people on a significant level, even without the atomic weapon.
Yeah, true. That's true. Sure, let a bunch of mini nukes wander off into the galaxy. There's somebody else's problem now. Yeah. And Phantom Outsider says, the heat death of the universe, followed by the contraction. It's only happened 6 times before. But who's counting?
It's Franklin, apparently.
Yeah, true. True. Oh. So, any other comments out there? This was if they can get a ooh. Legatus is saying, I know the Fantastic Four is known for its space adventures, but right now the stories we have done, I am just not buying it. Ooh. Interesting. So he's not a big fan of this adventure.
And that's okay, like, because I'm just coming in from nowhere. I read the very first issue with the Mole Man, and I thought that was really good. But I can't really speak to the entire thing. So
yeah.
So I understand people who don't want the new stuff.
Yeah.
Some of it's a little silly. I think some of The first, I enjoyed the second one way more, but the first one with Johnny is just. I feel like there was a bit of a truncation in the English language department where he didn't speak full sentences, and as such, some of the value of what he was saying was lost in a few of just a few of the panels.
Yeah. Johnny is a bit of a overgrown teenager, or overgrown adolescent.
Okay, if that's how he's supposed to be, I should appreciate it for that. But I do like the science fiction in it. I think it's fun.
Yeah. Let's see. We needed more of Reed building machines and such to prove they are able to do these things. True. I always like when Reed is in the middle of a building project and Ben is being the heavy lifter.
I like that I could actually read these two and not understand what happened before with the vampires and still enjoy these two on their own. So it does seem like whoever's writing this is trying to make things episodic. And so I'm glad for that.
Yeah. Hello, Cam Stewart.
Along.
How you doing,
Hi,
Cam? It's been a while.
Actually, I have not met Cam Stewart. It's good to meet you.
He's a musician, and I've interviewed him.
Oh, nice. Good deal. I have to check that out.
Yeah. Let's see.
But I don't know. It's just cool to explore the subatomic world and spaceships and learn about an alien civilization who basically destroyed themselves. That's kind of sad, but
yeah,
kind of a thing that just
but
happened.
just the way they did it, though, being able to utilize the subatomic world.
Yeah, and from I don't know,
he says
it's good stuff.
He says, "I love the Fantastic Four." Yep. And it's not all about punching bad guys.
There's a bit of a wrestle with the alien. But,
yeah.
But for sure, I do appreciate it.
Yeah. Let's see what the poll is saying. All right, let's see. Let's see. Oh, wow. 10 votes, 100 say they like it. And 10 all 10 said they liked it, which is good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that has to do with your great by proxy storytelling.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Cam, his new stage name is Jonah Kendall, but I'm going to school, so might be changing career paths. The FF are one of my favorite comic teams. Which set of comics are we talking about? These just came out. They're written by. Let me go back to Kindle. Let's see. This run of the Fantastic Four is written by Ryan North. The artist is Carlos Gomez, colorer Jesus Arbutov, and cover artist is Alex Ross. And Alex Ross is an amazing artist. His pictures are amazing. Well, Legatus, what did you think of this one? We can put in chat, what did you think of the second part? Because as Jill said, the first one was from Johnny's viewpoint, so you've got an overgrown adolescent trying to narrate.
This guy is burning hot dog condiments off of his clothing.
Yeah.
You skipped that part because it was totally irrelevant to the story.
Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, overgrown adolescents.
Except with the porno mustache. He should just shave it because he's going for the teenager look. He should just actually just not have a mustache.
Ah,
It's not the 1970s.
so okay. So all right. So
Yeah.
go ahead.
That's okay. Go for it. Go for your next thing. I was only going to fill in there.
Oh. Oh wow. As much as others like the FF, they're still not doing it for me. Oh wow. Even back in the day. And hello, Agent Pepsi One.
That's a good
How you
question.
doing?
Do you enjoy classic FF, Goddess?
Yeah. What do you think of the classic FF? Because I'm gonna go back to that. I just did an interlude. Do a pod raid at Pop Culture Breakdown. Yeah, that's coming up. And hello, Agent Pepsi One. Agent Pepsi One. I hope ooh, youch. The hurricane is coming. The eye of the storm is slated to pass 30 miles to the east of us. Well, you hunker down and be safe, Agent Pepsi One. Please put an AP1 out there to show we are thinking of our amazing Agent Pepsi One, and hope that she is safe.
Yes,
So,
be safe. Don't if it's flooding, do not drive.
yeah, that is true. Yeah, he likes the classic stuff. Okay, like I said, we're going back to it. It's just some of the some of the new stuff intrigued me so much. I just have to do a diversion and see where it goes. And I was lucky enough to get Jill to help me out on this because
I'm
it
a big
was
fan of
science.
science, and there was some science in there that was fun to explore. And so I'm kind of outside of the ability to judge what's going on thematically within the comic sphere narrative of the Fantastic Four. But you're a Fantastic Four fan of the classics and you like it, so there's some value
Yep.
in it for you.
Yes, indeed.
Well, that's good.
Okay. If one of my lifeguards can put out Outlaw Bill's link and subscribe to Outlaw Bill for 6K.
Well, I have that one. I always have my document ready.
Okay. Aha, awesome. Yes, so okay. In fact, let me take care of it myself. All right. I've subbed, so let's see how that goes. Okay. Agent Pepsi One is off tomorrow on Friday. Doctor's appointment. Hopefully, all will be well and we won't lose power or other damages. Should be about 50 mile winds with gusts to 70. Okay. Well, you stay safe regardless. They've given you a number and taken away your name. Dun, dun, dun. And he's already at 6K. I must have turned him over.
Great.
I found the reimagined Doom origin interesting, but not this more recent stuff. I get that, Legatus. Oh, and I love the Doom origin. But if you look back in some of the older stuff, it's pretty much the same thing. Just dusted off. So, okay. All right. So, we have gone through this Fantastic Four adventure, and we will definitely go back to the basics. I think I've still got to do the annual, the FF first annual, and the annual, and then get back into the numbering. So 6,000 still. Hey, Tony, 6,000. You see how I just got it. Okay, you'll do it. We can do it. We all can do it. Just working together.
I just don't know when you just never know when that algorithm's gonna hit you.
Yeah. I just got some information about the algorithm. Yes, you drop mad links and promote a lot of channel every day. It's how I got to Dolphins channel. You rock, and so does Science. Well, thank you. I'm sure Jill appreciates it, and I appreciate you coming over and checking out the channel. And
thank you, DJ Play Nice, and thank you for coming to King Dolphin TV's channel.
Yep. And let us go to show notes. A lot of stuff come up.
It's time for show notes. It's time for show notes. Yeah, with Mr. Raven and Sandra too. It's time for show notes. We're bringing it on. It's time for show notes. You've all been warned. It's time for show notes.
All right, so show notes. A lot of stuff, a lot of changes, a lot of things going on. Okay, this Saturday is going to be the celebration that I hit 1,000. I hit that milestone of 1,000. Yay! So we will be celebrating that on Just Cause. So looking forward to that. Not looking forward to the week after. A week from today, we will not have a show because I will be in the hospital getting my procedure done. I
hope it goes well.
I hope so too. Please think good thoughts, prayers. I will appreciate everything. Because of that, and probably some recovery time on Thursday, I don't think I can do a show on Thursday. So what we're going to do, since we usually go before Pop Culture Breakdown, we're going to do an early show. We're going to do an early show before Frolics. So it will be Friday night. What time did I say on Friday? Probably about 5. Yeah, we'll start at 5 and go till 8, and then right into Frolic. And then on the 21st, the day after, so almost a big week, we will be celebrating episode 300 of 300 episodes that King Dolphin TV has done. So, and please check out those episodes. They are
fantastic.
Fantastic, yes. They're good. Lots of fun, lots of good interviews, and I'm still working on some other interviews. And I will. I have right now on October 9th, we have a pilot who has flown turtles for charity, and I'm going to talk to her about that. And I'm hoping to get I'm hoping to get a couple of AMPs. We've talked to pilots, and I want to get to the other side, the guys who make the planes go. I am looking to get some airframe and power plant people to come on and talk about what they do. So that's what's coming up. And of course, I'll go back to the comic book reviews. I might even step away from the comics. I have some others that I have in mind to do, but I got to find people that'll do it, and it's kind of tough. But King Dolphin TV is getting ready to gear up for a 4th year that we've been doing this. That 4th year celebration will be in October, as well as my big birthday celebration. Yay! So lots of things coming up in September and October. We're not putting the brakes on anything here at King Dolphin TV. And check out my shorts. I've been starting to experiment with the shorts videos out there, and I've been getting some cool responses to that. All right. Snort of Poopa says, take care of the human, dolphin, doggo, Dalek, hamster, ferret, eagle, hedgehog, and Watson. Okay. Copyright trademark, our wholly owned subsidiary of King Dolphin TV. Thank you for all the good wishes. Hopefully I'll get I know I'll probably get through it. I'm just hoping that the results are favorable.
Hodzin is a type of tropical bird found in swamps, forests, and mangroves of the Amazon.
Oh, cool. Cool. What's this? World Things Dolphin Wars. Lots of pretty nurses and lots of TLC from them. And a certain WTW, Wendy Trauma Warrior, will call on them. Or, lots of pretty nurses and lots of TLC from them too. Or a certain WTW will call on them. WTW, I've got a nurse right here. I'm sure we'll beat them up. She takes no prisoners when it comes to people working on me. Let's see. But Raymond wants the nurses in 60s uniform, not scrubs. Let's see. I check out his short. Sandra! Hello, nice. Nice. Let's see. And Stephen wants her to dress as a 60s nurse. Okay. Wow. All right. DJ says lots of aviation and aviation support personnel in our military who are active duty or reserve now, and even more who are retired. It'd be great to get the added angle. Yeah, that's what I've been looking for. I think I hate these things. Tim says, I think after next week you should order something from your local pizza butt. Oh God. I'm sorry I stumbled that way. She does. You're lucky. Sandra doesn't practice finding sensitive pressure points on you. And Legata says, or does she? The answer is she does. And most are painful. She knows all the painful spots. So, all right. So that is show notes. Again, looking forward to seeing everybody at our celebration on Saturday. So, Jill, what's going on with your channel?
I'm so glad you asked. Thank you so much. for letting me talk about my channel. Things are kind of interesting because for the past 2 years, I've talked about Star Trek. I've talked about lots of older pop culture, lots of older science fiction and things. And now it seems for some reason I'm going into my own childhood finally in a very good way, in an interesting way. When I was a kid, I watched a lot of Nickelodeon, and so this Friday, I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to talk about Good Burger and the series that I watched that led up to it. It's all that. It's kind of like a Saturday night live for kids that just turned into this movie. And that'll be this Friday. And then for the subsequent Fridays, all the way leading up to Halloween, I'm going to be talking about all of the Harry Potter movies,
Oh,
which
nice.
is something else I grew up reading and watching. And so that's going to be really radical for me because every
Nice.
time I talk about all of these older, more fantastic things, I'm always asking, what was it like being there for the first time? And so this time I can actually be the one who's been there.
Nice. So check out her channel.
Of course, on Tuesdays. I forgot. I'm still watching For All Mankind on Tuesdays. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. Cool. I watch tons and tons of Nickelodeon. Okay, I'm going to ask Agent Pepsi 1 and Jill, what were your favorite Nickelodeon cartoons?
My absolute favorite was Rocco's Modern Life because it kind of showed you what it was like to be a grown up, but since you're a kid, you don't really know what it's like, and so but then when you go back and watch it as a grown up, you're like, hey, this actually wasn't too off. There's one episode where Rocco gets a credit card and he goes shopping and he buys all these things, and then at the end of the episode he couldn't pay off his credit card, so they come back and they take all his stuff. And then there's another one where laundry day is a very dangerous day. It's kind of his thing.
My favorite Nickelodeon cartoon is Danny Phantom. I like that one, about a boy who becomes a ghost.
Ooh, that's a little bit after me. That's a little bit after me because by then I was graduating from high school and I didn't really get into it.
Oh, which one, Agent Pepsi 1? I bet you were also a Kim Possible person. I could see Jill as a Kim Possible person.
Yeah, that was also I was in high school. I think I saw a couple episodes. It was good though. Modern Life. Yeah, Rocco's Modern Life. That's it. It was some good stuff.
Okay. So
but I get you got grandkids, so you actually do watch a lot of these cartoons, so you're not lost.
Ren and Stimpy all day long and twice on Wednesdays.
Oh yes, but it depends if you're watching the MTV Ren and Stimpy or if you're watching Nickelodeon Ren and Stimpy. They were a little different.
Yeah, it was. Yep, Kim Possible was great. Even a little boy grown tall, like myself, loves cartoons. He's been watching them all along. I love cartoons. Yes, I do. I love cartoons. All right. So let's start wrapping this up. Let me end up show notes.
It's time for show notes. It's time for show notes. Yeah, with Mr. Reagan and Sandra too. It's time for show notes. We're bringing it on. It's time for show notes. You've all been warned. It's time for show notes.
I hated Super Friends, Agent Pepsi 1. Absolutely detested him. Loved Batman the animated series. No, I didn't like Super Friends. When they stopped punching other people, I nodded off.
How do they get the bad guys without interacting with them?
They they don't. It was the 70s and 80s were when you had to go. They had to lessen the violence. I mean, best comics were in the 60s, or best cartoons were in the 60s. All right.
Mhm.
Okay, so that is show notes. That's what's coming up. And I would like to thank you all for being here. This was a great show. And again, I thank Anti-Derivative Joe for being here and helping me out and giving me explanations that I probably couldn't be able to translate myself. So,
You're welcome. I'm glad you invited me. You expanded my reach beyond something that I would normally not even look at. So
thank you, Joe. All right. So let me thank everybody who has been here. And don't forget to go to Pop Culture Breakdown. All right. So visiting us in the chat, we had Dee. Thank you, Dee, for coming. DJ Play Nice, thank you very much. Tim from FKHC 2005. We had Herc 130. We had Cam Stewart. We had the great Phantom Outsider and Shooter. An emu with a gun. All right. And so that's everybody who came to visit. And now the lifeguards. We had our producer. This is the Sandra Feliciano presentation, or Sandra Feliciano production. And it's in color, by the way. Love you, honey. And we had John Rendall. We had the last one in, the first one in, the last one out, Lake Addis Legion I, who had to take an away mission, but he came back, better late than never. We had Tony Stark, Stark of Iron here. And I'm forgetting something. Oh, and Agent Pepsi 1. Agent Pepsi 1. Agent Pepsi 1. They've given her a number and taken away her name. The lovely Agent Pepsi 1. Please stay safe. Don't drive in the floods and just hunker down. We want you here on Saturday. And I am forgetting something. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. We've got the Trike. There's Trike right there, sticking his tongue out at me. And Snort Pupas! Joe Bart. Dot screen. Hashtag raw. Great show. Or should I say, fantastic show. Have a good time. See you Saturday. Let's party. All right. So, everybody, I hope everybody has a safe rest of the week, and we will see you on Saturday for celebrating 1,000 subscribers. Yoo-hoo! Take care, all.
Yahoo!
Love you all, and stay safe. Joe, hang out in the back room.
See you guys later.
Yep, see you later. Party like it's New Year's Eve, 1999. Yeah. Yay. And then Snort's going to dive into the water.